What is going on, garden fans? Welcome back to the Permaculture Homestead. Wanted to give you a walkabout my front yard food forest today. Do a lot of edible landscaping on here so that it kind of blends into the environment and doesn't really make a lot of people angry. And if you didn't know what you were looking at, you might not even know that there's a bunch of food right here in my front yard. So come on back, enjoy the journey, and give us a like, share, and subscribe as always. So if you were to just drive by the front of my house, you probably wouldn't even know what was going on unless you had a pretty keen eye for gardening. It is spring, things are blooming, things are looking good in my front yard food forest, and I just kind of want to show you what is going on. Now everybody has this little square on the front of their house, in the front of their yard. It's for the septic tank. You can see my septic right there. And at one point nothing was growing here, but now I have a nice elderberry hedge that provides me a little bit of privacy to the front door. It gives me elderberry. The ground cover with this is a spearmint, and this is a beautiful looking spearmint right now. It's spreading, it's doing what it's supposed to do. And most of all, it's keeping the weeds from growing. There are no weeds in this bed. I do not weed this bed. What few weeds are there, dandelion, that's fine. That's an edible one too. But for the most part, the mint here is doing a great job suppressing the weeds. And the other edible I have here is a pineapple guava, which is breaking its dormancy and really starting to put on some new green growth for spring. So I've taken something that wasn't productive, that wasn't really doing anything. I put together these elements in such a way that it works together. We got a nice polyculture planting, and most people probably would have no idea what was going on. Now I set up this front yard food forest over the past year and a half, and it has got a huge array of food. Right now, all the white flowers are wild blackberries that I've allowed to grow and spread as a ground cover. It's nice to see all these flowers in the spring. There are other ground cover elements out here that are working with the blackberries. They're not hindered by it. Things like rosemary, a hardy Mediterranean herb. It'll rise above this ground cover. Oregano is another one I have that just kind of rises above the blackberry ground cover. It's not really hurt or harmed by it. And then the next level up are trees. So I've got an apricot tree here out front. Not too far from that is a pomegranate, which is breaking dormancy on, and then some nitrogen fixation in the form of autumn olive. That I'll allow it to shrub up about 15, maybe 20 feet, and then that's it. The trees will get a lot taller, provide some shade out here. And on the very back we have another hedge of elderberry. And what this is going to do, it's going to catch all the water coming off the roof, and the water is going to water this whole food forest here. So this is zero maintenance whatsoever. The only maintenance I do is keeping everything within the lines, nice and clean looking, so people don't get pissed off and angry, so that it looks somewhat kept up, but also still looks kind of wild. So I love the wild blackberries. They're very thorny. They do provide me some sort of protection here. People aren't going to go tromping through these sharp, spiny, thorny things to go breaking into my window. And if they wanted to break in, don't worry. I got a couple lovely pups back there to say hello. So I like the wild blackberries. I've let them grow over the useless boxwoods that used to be here. And I'm going to continue to spread that pattern over on the next section of the food forest. We've already started with some autumn olive. The blackberries are starting to spread. I'm just going to continue to train them along the ground, let them climb up over some of the boxwoods, and we'll just continue to let food grow in my front yard. Please keep in touch for the updates on this. I will continue to show you what kind of harvest we get from this small space. The space itself, about 15 feet by 20 feet. That's it. And it's an L shaped around the front of the house. These trees aren't planted that far away from each other. Apricot with a pomegranate, not more than about 4 feet apart. Autumn olive is much closer, probably about a foot or two. But a very tight space here is going to be doing a lot of production for us as things mature. Please subscribe, watch as these things mature, garden fans. Appreciate you watching. As always, give us that thumbs up. God bless.